Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Johnny Sunshine out here doing a little work things today. I need to put a new cable in my Super V. I'll show you how you do that. Pretty simple. If you have a Super V that cable that you think is compromised, it's worth it to just replace it because it's worth it to replace it because if you break it off in a sewer line, it can be a real bitch, man. And that's on your time. It'd be a tough one. You know, it gets murky, is all I'm saying, with the homeowner. You know, if you're there for 2 hours and you can't just leave it. Some guys do that. They break it. They say, "Oh, you're good. Have a nice day," and they leave their cable in the guy's sewer fucking line. So I want to show you where my concern was with this cable, and I believe it's right here. This section right here was totally kinked up. See how quick that broke? That's why I'm replacing it. I had to really baby it the other day. It's just part of the game, brothers. So I'm gonna pull this cable out all the way. It's 25 feet long. And what I will tell you is these things, these barrels are only aluminum. They can get dented, and sometimes you can't get this thing in. So the easiest way to do it, and I struggle to get this thing together. It's not really where it should be. I should try to get it rotated a little bit. Like I think this screw needs to be over here. We'll see. Always inspect this. I have extras of these. One day I picked up like 10 of them for dirt cheap, but an old one will start to get cracked and your cable can get caught in it. So what I want to do is find the easiest spot for this thing to go in, and I think it's like this. Which it is. So what I want to do I got to get a marker, and you just want to put a line on here. Something to line it up so you're putting it back together the way you took it out. All right, guys, so this is where this needs to go together. So I'm just going to put a line here and a line here. It's just an easy reference so that I know where it needs to go back together. That's the easiest. Sometimes they're tough to get apart, man. So when you put this cable in, it says right on it, for Super V and Power V, load cable in counterclockwise direction. That's the problem that happened to this. I used up all the cable and it popped out of the machine, and then I was able to get it go back in, but it went in clockwise, not counterclockwise. I can't believe how quick that fucking cable broke, man. Jesus. I'm glad it didn't get caught in that house on a Saturday or Sunday it was when I did that job. Come on, baby. Johnny, always using the wrong tool for the job just because, you know, struggle is good, man. Struggle is good. It makes you tough, man. Hey. So guys, when I first started using Super Bees, Johnny was fucking up some cables, y'all. See, this is the end that goes in first. And you just push it in counterclockwise. I'm gonna show you another little trick. I've never done it, but you know, I thought about doing it, and putting a piece of tape about 2 feet from the end at like 23 feet, which is too late for me to do it on this one, will prevent the problem that I had where you pushed out too much cable and now you got another fucking job to do. So what you want to do, once you get this together, see, like this right here, this is about 7 or 8 feet left out. And what I want to do is put some tape on this, because I know how long the pipe can be to the point of vent on a tub in a shower. It's been that way forever. You know, if I'm at 7 or 8 feet, let's just go 10, then I know that I should be in the main. I'm past the tub drain, you know what I'm saying? And while you're there, you don't want to just clear the stoppage. You want to actually, you know, scrape the line clean. So this tape, it's not going to stay here forever, but it'll give you an idea of where you are, how much cable you have in the line. Best tool, I just can't say enough about General. There are probably machines and equipment that work just as good and are just as reliable. All I can say is I have General for the vast majority of my drain cleaning shit, and it works, Jackson. Oh, I did all of that, and on this one the cable needs to go in first. No. Let's see. I think if I take this nut off, ow. Take this bolt out, it'll go through that nose cone. Okay. So I want to show you this. There are little indentations here for these screws, okay? They go in here. That's how you center it. And then all I'm gonna do is find my mark on the machine and put it together. And it's pretty tight. You gotta hit that slot. So a lot of guys were wondering why the fuck I had gloves on, and I never use gloves. Why I had gloves on working on a water heater. The reason I did that, guys, is because my hands were covered in fucking grease from climbing under my truck and getting my shift linkage hooked back up. The gloves weren't to protect me, it was to keep her house from getting dirty. Johnny sacrificed his body every day for his customers, like a fireman, like a policeman. It's always about the customer, to protect and serve. See that? Hey. So I showed you two things that you can do with your Super V, so you know where you are. I should have put a piece of tape on at like 22 feet, so I know I had 3 feet left in the machine. But now comes the fun part. Getting this off. It's been on there. This is the head that I use mostly. And I've taken, this is a lot smaller because they wear down. I actually sharpen this. I'll put some sharp edges on this like a knife so that it's cutting, you know, when it's spinning in the forward direction. Let me spray this and try to get this thing off. You son of a bitch. They can be tough, guys. Hello, what the fuck, man? Come on. You're a fucking retard, man. I learned it from you, Dad. Fuck you. Fuck you, you did. I never bitch and moan. Son of a bitch. Alright, let's see how I can do this. Sometimes you gotta use channel locks instead. Make sure you get on the head of that motherfucker. So I got a repipe coming up, man. Ow. I don't need the screw, I need the goddamn head, y'all. Tough. If I had a vise, I could. Let me try an impact. This is a number 3. zigzags in. I really need to put it in a vise. I ain't holding it good. Let me get a big ass screwdriver. I'm breaking out the big ass screwdriver on this one. Oh, hearts are falling. Skibbity boobity boobity. Kent from the Berg. My man. Hang on, I got some other shit I can spray on. Boy, this shit really works, but it stinks, man. Get in there and do your job, you son of a bitch. That ain't happening, guys. I know my channel locks are backwards. It's always a pain, y'all. Scoobity boobity boo boo. Alright, Johnny's fucking struggling. Alright, guys, so I'm about 15 minutes in. I'm trying to get this fucking screw out, and I finally got it. It's making me think I need to find a bolt that fits and not a screw. Be a lot easier to get out with a socket. All of that for, I needed this to finish my job here. Now I gotta find the, oh, here it is, the new one. What I am gonna do is put a little bit of pipe dope on this thing. A little bit of fucking anti-seize. You know what I'm saying, y'all? I'm just gonna goob it up, man. Inside, outside, in the fucking threads. It's a pain. That's why I have more than one Super V, because, you know, if something happens and now you need to fucking... Now you're into another game. You're sitting out at your truck. The clock's ticking. The stress is going up. So I've got 3 of these on my truck. I've got one in the garage. All different kind of cables on them for whatever job I usually use this on a tub or a shower. Hopefully that's going to help that next time I need to take it out. We'll see. But I want to discuss one thing about these Super Vs. I don't know if people know it or not, but when you use this, you're supposed to see me doing it all the time. I pull this back, pull the cable out, and then push that forward. What that does, it pushes the pinchers in, onto the blades. See, they're shot. Oh no, I got it backwards. You push it forward, pull the cable out, pull it down, and that's to drive the cable in. Now it won't let go because the pinchers inside here on the nose, which are replaceable, and you need to replace them every once in a while if you're finding that your cable is not, you think you're pushing it in and then nothing's happening. But that's how you have to do it. I see a lot of guys, they just leave it like this and they push it in by hand. That's not how this thing's designed. It's designed to pull this down. Now it's got the cable and now you can really pull. The trick to this is, so you don't keep ruining cables, is don't let, I go 6 or 8 inches, 10 inches at a time, close to where I'm putting it in the pipe so it doesn't have an opportunity to twist. And you got to get good with the trigger. If you feel like it's binding up, you'll hear the drill slowing down. Take your finger off the trigger. Try to spare yourself from buying another cable. When I first started using these, I was fucking cables up every time I used this thing. But I'm going to take the opportunity to spray down in here. You don't want to put too much shit on these because it's just going to end up all over the fucking walls in somebody's house. You know what I'm saying? But you do want this thing to work good. Take this chuck off. There's a couple screws on here. Just this one screw, it appears. Take that off. That comes off, and then this whole nose cone comes off. Easy to get repair parts for it. As long as you don't kill the drill, you can get new parts for everything. I have this one. This may be the first one I ever bought. 28 years old. Hey, get over here, you guys. Fucking dogs acting like dogs. So I want to show you what, if I'm on a tub stoppage, you got it's usually 5 or 6 feet from the trap to the point of vent. So you got this much to get into the trap. Then I'm going to go this far, and I'm going to say, yeah, I'm definitely through that tub drain to the point of vent. If it doesn't go down, obviously you got to go further, but great tool. I look at the other ones that are on the market. They're too bulky, and anything with a battery in it is just a no. I'm not buying anything like that. Oh shit, the battery's dead. God damn it, I love when that happens. I'll be back, ma'am. Ma'am, can you run out to my truck and get me a battery? I loved yesterday when I asked that woman. I was on that fucking having her as my helper. I deputized her. And I said, did that breaker sound weird when you turned it off? She said, I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. Why would she know? Who the fuck knows what a circuit breaker is supposed to sound like? It's kind of a strange question, sir. I don't know if it did. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. My house and my property is going to be a fucking archaeological dig in about 1,000 years after we've vanished from this earth, and the next generation of people to come along to destroy this place. They'll say, Jesus, I think a plumber lived here. Look at this. A Super V, nut and bolt. Son of a bitch. Yeah. Alright, hang on. I want to talk a little bit more. Imagine that. So I've decided to put my front seat back in my truck, guys. I gotta get this stand-up toolbox. This is the biggest box on the passenger side of the truck, and I hardly ever use it. That box is useless to me right there. I never go in that. I need to have shelves up here, like where I put all my fittings on the other side, and then a shelf underneath. Those shelves will have all my tools organized. These drawers are never deep enough. It's just a fucking mess for plumbing tools. It don't work. I'm gonna build like 3 or 4 slide out drawers, and then underneath it's gonna be a slide out drawer for my tool bag. I can pull that out, throw in the shit I need, and head in the fucking house. The only problem with this is this door likes to pop open, so I gotta put some sort of a lock or hasp or something. Slide something, whatever the fuck they call that thing, slide bolt. Anyways, what did I want to say? And if you ever have to take your Super V in to somebody to get it repaired, like a tool guy, tell them to put a 25-foot cord on it for you. That's what I do every time I bring a tool in to get repaired. I say, please replace the cable, the power line, and they do it, and it just makes it easy. You don't have to run an extension. Scooby, Dooby-Doo, Skibooby-Doo. Alright, that's going to end this little session on Super Vs. Keep them in a bucket. Fuck that box it comes with. Keep them in a bucket with a towel, a couple of little tools. Not even, just make sure you have a towel and a glove in there. Grab a pair of channel locks and a 42-in-1 screwdriver. Usually that can get you fixed up quick. Yeah. I want to show you guys something that we used to do. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. If you want to eliminate a joint under the, I just think these look like they're a fuck up. So I could take my PVC cutters, cut these threads off, stick this in here, glue this joint together, and you eliminate a possible leak point, a weak point. But this is strong. It bothers me just because I'm just used to Schedule 40 union hub traps, where the pipe from the trap up to wherever it needed to be was one size with no additional mechanical joints. The less joints, the better. That's for sure. So you can cut these threads off and glue this joint. We used to hook up tubs with a male adapter, the Gerber tub waste. We'd put a male adapter on it and never use the nut. Once the tub was set, we'd take glue and smear it around this. This was back in 1988. That's how I was taught. The glue runs down, wells up in that little bevel there, and chamfer, and it fills it up, and we never had a problem with them leaking. Just another way to do shit, guys. Sharing what I know, the little that I do know. Get yourself a Super V, man. If I were a young guy in business, in just coming into the trade, besides your hand tools, I'd have a Super V in my trunk, man. 25 feet out, you can get toilet stoppages. Get whatever the fuck you want, Jason. The world is your oyster. Alright, guys, so that's my little video on recabling a Super V, some of the problems you can get into, like you just saw, I was struggling to get that nut out. I mean that bolt. Probably a bolt would be better. Worst case scenario, you break it and you have to buy a new fucking cable. I mean, if I broke that bolt off, and I wouldn't even bother trying to drill that thing out. But this is what I use. This cable is what I use on 1.5-inch copper lines. And you'll see how I do it. I push it in. I get to the 90 where it turns. And I turn it, use the trigger, turn it a little bit to get through that 90. Then I push it till I get to the sanitary T or the stoppage. And that's when I start drilling with the machine. Push it as far as you can by hand. Then you'll know where the fuck you are. What needs to be done, y'all. It really is an art form to effectively drain clean. And when the water goes down, don't say, all right, I got it, pack your shit and leave. All you did was poke a little hole in that. Run lots of water. Run the sewer machine in through that area. That got stopped up. Usually it's a Midland bushing, a brass bushing, and it's cast iron T. Tap T. And you want to get that crust out of there. I've replaced copper waste arms. And that Midland bushing, that shit in there, the electrolysis is like concrete. I mean, literally, you got to chisel it out with a fucking hammer and screwdriver. Well, I don't use screwdrivers to do that, obviously. You'd use a chisel. Come on. You use whatever the fuck you have at that point. That's what I'm saying. It's fucking Hamburger Hill every day out here, guys. Hamburger Hill. Have a good one. Alright guys, so this is basically what I have in my Super V. I use my left hand all the time to hold the cable and my right hand to hold the drill. I've got a left-handed glove here that I use. You're gonna need a screwdriver, but I always bring one in. I don't like having a million tools, one in each bucket, you know, it just doesn't seem good. I'd rather scratch around through my truck. 20 minutes looking for one. That's it, man. Bada bing, bada boom. I make the decision when I go and look at the job, which sewer machine I need. Always looking at the size of the pipe coming out of the wall. And knowing what the fuck you have in the wall and under the slab helps you determine where the problem is. Sometimes it's in the base of a sweep from a cast iron stack or riser. You can get it with a drop head, but I like to hit, if it's in the stack, in the base of the stack, I like to go through the roof and just open it up, man. Get the big cable. You want to use the biggest cable you can get through the system without damaging it all the time. Alright guys, that's my video today. Have a good one. I'm going to make some more. The first of many.